The Black Book. Unveiling a Dark Legacy. The Black Book is a term often associated with documents or compilations of information that reveal secrets, atrocities, or actions often hidden from public view. Various black books throughout history have shed light on dark periods of oppression, corruption, and violence. One of the most notorious is the Black Book of Communism, a detailed account of the crimes committed by communist regimes worldwide. But beyond this, the concept of a black book has appeared in different contexts, each with its weight and significance. This video delves into the various black books of history, their contents, their impact, and the often troubling truths they reveal. The Black Book of Communism, a Chronicle of Oppression. Published in 1997, the Black Book of Communism, Crimes, Terror, Repression remains one of the most comprehensive and controversial accounts of the brutalities committed under communist regimes during the 20th century. Written by a group of European academics, this book documents the extent of mass murder, political repression, and state-sanctioned atrocities across countries like the Soviet Union, China, Cambodia, North Korea, and Cuba. How it unfolds. The book meticulously outlines how various communist governments employed terror, gulags, purges, famines, and systematic executions to maintain power. These methods resulted in an estimated 94 million deaths worldwide, a staggering figure that has ignited debates over the moral comparisons between communism and other totalitarian ideologies like Nazism. The Controversies. While the book exposes some chilling truths, it has faced criticism, particularly from left-leaning scholars and intellectuals. Some argue that the book's editors equated atrocities committed under communism with the ideology itself, rather than the specific dictators and regimes that implemented these policies. Others accuse the authors of inflating death tolls and glossing over the nuances of historical context. Despite these criticisms, the book's influence has been significant in framing the global conversation about the legacy of communism. Other notable black books in history. 1. The Black Book of the Holocaust. While lesser known by the general public, the Black Book of the Holocaust was an early attempt to document the horrors committed by the Nazis during World War II. Compiled by Soviet and Jewish historians, this book aimed to record the persecution and mass murder of Jews in Eastern Europe. Its compilation was an act of defiance, a declaration that the world must remember the atrocities committed by the Nazis. Yet, it faced challenges in its release, particularly due to political tensions between the Soviet Union and the West. It wasn't until the collapse of the Soviet Union that the full text was published, ensuring that the voices of those who perished were preserved. 2. The Black Book of British Intelligence. Dating back to World War I and II, British intelligence agencies compiled so-called black books that included the names of individuals considered a threat to national security. These were often lists of people suspected of being enemy agents, spies, or traitors. During the Nazi occupation of Europe, one such black book was reportedly compiled by the Germans, listing key British figures to be arrested and executed if the Nazis successfully invaded Britain. The Legacy of Black Books, a Cautionary Tale. The concept of a black book serves as a reminder of the darker side of human nature and governance. These books, whether documenting crimes under communism, the Holocaust, or political enemies, reflect the immense suffering caused by unchecked power, dogmatic ideologies, and ruthless political regimes. Yet, they also serve another function: remembrance. In preserving these horrific records, black books ensure that history is not forgotten. They become crucial in educating future generations about the dangers of tyranny, the fragility of democracy, and the profound cost of indifference. Why the Black Book matters today. In today's world, the revelations found in these historical black books resonate with current events. Governments continue to be accused of crimes against humanity, political repression, and the suppression of dissent. By understanding the patterns of history outlined in these books, there is an opportunity to recognize and prevent the resurgence of similar oppressive forces. Whether detailing the secret operations of intelligence agencies or chronicling mass atrocities, black books serve as stark reminders that darkness can thrive when the truth is hidden. These accounts challenge societies to confront uncomfortable realities, remember the past's harsh lessons, and work towards a more just future. The power of exposing the hidden. The various black books throughout history show us that confronting the truth, no matter how dark, is essential. They not only document the worst aspects of human behavior but also remind us that accountability and transparency are critical to preventing future horrors. By shining a light on these hidden histories, we honor the memory of those who suffered and commit ourselves to a world where such atrocities are less likely to occur. What effect did the release of the Black Book of Communism have on the global conversation about the legacy of communism? The release of the Black Book of Communism in 1997 had a profound effect on the global conversation about communism's legacy. By quantifying the death toll of communist regimes, the book forced a re-evaluation of communism's place in history, particularly in comparison to other totalitarian ideologies such as Nazism. 1. Challenging historical narratives. Before the book's publication, the crimes of communist regimes, particularly in the Soviet Union and Maoist China, were often downplayed in academic circles or treated as unfortunate byproducts of well-intentioned efforts to build egalitarian societies. The Black Book broke that silence by systematically detailing mass killings, labor camps, forced famines, and purges, directly attributing tens of millions of deaths to communist policies. This caused a shift in historical perspective, encouraging more scrutiny of communist regimes and a more critical comparison to fascist regimes, which had long been the primary focus of discussions on state-sponsored atrocities. 2. Controversy and ideological debates. The book's release sparked intense debate, especially among intellectuals and political groups with leftist leanings. Critics accused the authors of equating communism with Nazism, arguing that the two ideologies were fundamentally different in intent. While Nazism was seen as inherently genocidal, proponents of communism often argued that its atrocities were the result of flawed leadership rather than the ideology itself. This led to debates about moral equivalency between the crimes of communism and those of other authoritarian regimes, influencing political discourse in countries with a strong leftist tradition. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to our channel for more self-improvement videos. Remember to share on various social media platforms to reach a wider audience. 3. Policy and public memory. In the years following its publication, the Black Book of Communism contributed to efforts in former communist states to confront their pasts. Several Eastern European countries began re-evaluating the legacy of communism, leading to the establishment of memorials, museums, and historical commissions to document communist-era abuses. In Western Europe, it helped fuel calls for greater recognition of communist crimes in public memory, leading to laws in some countries that place communist atrocities on par with Nazi war crimes in terms of historical remembrance. How did the political tensions between the Soviet Union and the West affect the release of the Black Book of the Holocaust? The release of the Black Book of the Holocaust, which aimed to document the Nazi atrocities against Jews in Eastern Europe, was significantly delayed and shaped by Cold War tensions between the Soviet Union and the West. 1. Suppression by Soviet authorities. The Black Book of the Holocaust was originally compiled during World War II by Jewish historians, including Ilya Ehrenberg and Vasily Grossman, who were working under Soviet authority. While it was initially intended to expose Nazi crimes, its publication was delayed by Soviet authorities after the war. As the Cold War unfolded, Stalin's regime became increasingly hostile to public discussions of Jewish suffering, as Soviet propaganda sought to emphasize the universality of Nazi crimes against Soviet citizens rather than focusing specifically on the Jewish experience. This suppression reflected a broader pattern of Soviet anti-Semitism and a desire to control the narrative of Soviet wartime heroism without acknowledging the unique victimization of Jews. 2. Strategic Cold War silence. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union was locked in an ideological battle with the West, and acknowledging the full extent of Jewish suffering under the Nazis might have complicated Soviet alliances with Arab states and other communist allies, some of whom harbored anti-Israel sentiments. Additionally, the Soviet leadership feared that focusing on Jewish persecution could fuel Zionist sympathies within the USSR's Jewish population, which conflicted with state-sponsored atheism and Soviet foreign policy. As a result, the full release of the Black Book was delayed until after the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, when the archival barriers lifted, and scholars could publish the text in its entirety. 3. Influence on post-Soviet historiography. Once finally published, the Black Book of the Holocaust contributed to a broader reckoning in post-Soviet states about the historical suppression of the Holocaust. It underscored the way Cold War politics had distorted historical memory and demonstrated the lengths to which both the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany had manipulated narratives about victimhood for political ends. What specific actions are being taken today to prevent the resurgence of similar oppressive forces detailed in historical black books? In response to the lessons of historical black books, governments, international organizations, and civil society are implementing various strategies to prevent the resurgence of oppressive forces like those chronicled in the Black Book of Communism or the Black Book of the Holocaust. 1. Legislation and international law. Many nations have passed laws that criminalize the denial of historical atrocities, such as Holocaust denial laws, which aim to combat revisionism and prevent the spread of hateful ideologies. The international legal framework has also evolved, with the International Criminal Court (ICC) established in 2002 to prosecute individuals responsible for genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. This international body serves as a deterrent, signaling that leaders who engage in state-sponsored oppression may be held accountable on a global stage. 2. Education and public memory. Education remains a critical tool for preventing the recurrence of past horrors. Many countries have integrated Holocaust and genocide studies into school curriculums, ensuring that future generations understand the historical significance of events like the Holocaust, Stalinist purges, and Maoist famines. Museums, such as the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum and the International Memorial to the Victims of Communism, play a vital role in preserving public memory, fostering dialogue, and maintaining awareness of the dangers posed by authoritarian regimes. 3. Monitoring and advocacy by human rights organizations. International human rights organizations like Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch actively monitor governments and report on human rights abuses, drawing attention to regimes or leaders that employ tactics reminiscent of past oppressive systems. These organizations often act as watchdogs, applying pressure on governments to adhere to international standards and norms. 4. Strengthening democratic institutions and rule of law. To combat the rise of authoritarianism, many countries focus on strengthening democratic institutions, supporting a free press, and ensuring an independent judiciary. Democratic resilience is seen as a bulwark against the types of political repression and terror outlined in historical black books. This includes international efforts to support emerging democracies and prevent backsliding in countries where democratic norms are under threat. 5. Civil society and advocacy groups. Grassroots activism plays a crucial role in raising awareness and mobilizing action against potential threats of totalitarianism. In many countries, civil society organizations champion issues like transparency, government accountability, and the protection of minority rights, acting as a critical line of defense against state overreach. These groups often focus on educating the public, organizing protests, and lobbying for policies that protect civil liberties. The release of the Black Book of Communism reshaped global perceptions of communism's legacy, while Cold War politics delayed the publication of the Black Book of the Holocaust. Today, a combination of legal, educational, and advocacy efforts aims to prevent the resurgence of oppressive forces chronicled in these black books, striving to ensure that history's darkest chapters are neither forgotten nor repeated. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to our channel for more self-improvement videos. Comment below to tell us how useful you found this video. Remember to share on various social media platforms to reach a wider audience. Click the notification bell to get notified anytime we post a new video. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.